The governor says, well, we're not going to raise revenue. The Republican says that we're not going to raise revenue. Well, then what we end up doing is that then, well, how do we then end up fixing this particular budget? The answer then is, well, we have to cut. And so we then become a codependent with the Republican and the governor in terms of cutting a particular budget without any further discussion or negotiation about increasing revenues. And so those are the strategies that I've taken, mainly because, you know, I was not going up to Sacramento to end up hurting children, hurting poor people, hurting those individuals who are in need whatsoever, nor did I go up to Sacramento and hurt local government. I have not voted to take local government dollars. I'm the only legislator in the Bay Area that has done that, and that's cost me quite a bit. But at the end of the day, we've got to begin solving our structural deficit problem. The structural deficit problem is not a spending problem. It is, in fact, a revenue problem. And the best evidence of that is that when I went to Sacramento about 4 years ago, our budget was $110 billion. Our budget now is $85 billion. And what that suggests is that we have been, in fact, cutting. We have been cutting and cutting to the point where now our higher education, our kids can't go to college anymore. They've got to go outside the state of California. Our kids in the K-12 education, they can no longer get the very best of education. We as a society, what are we about? Are we about somehow making sure that someone is going to be able to live in Pacific Heights and earn millions and billions of dollars? Or are we here to somehow educate the next generations of leaders for this particular community? And so those are my values, and so those are the things that, you know, I feel very strong and very passionate about. And so what we have now is a Senate budget that has cuts, and then it does in fact has some revenue. And that's along the lines of what the Schwarzenegger administration would like us to do. So what you're going to find now is you've got an assembly budget, you've got a Senate budget, and then you've got a governor's budget. And so all that's going to mean is that it is going to be not only a long hot summer, but it is going to be a long fall. And so what we're going to be trying to do is to continue to fight the good fight of trying to figure out a way in order to protect that particular budget so that it does in fact take care of our children, our poor people, and those people in need. Let me end by just simply saying this, that this budget is going to be horrendous. The governor's proposal, two things to just give you an indication of how bad it is. One is that, I don't know if you know, but there are many individuals in the state of California who are either infirm or who have some health issues and so on, and they need an attendant to come into their home to try to take care of them so that they are not hospitalized or they're not institutionalized. That's called the IHSS program, the In-Home Support Services program. That program, according to the governor's budget, is going to be wiped out completely. That is how bad it is. There is also CalWorks. CalWorks is our sort of, I guess, welfare reform program. But one of the programs within CalWorks is to provide child care so that mom, instead of taking care of little kids and so on, can then go to school, get a skill, and go to work. Well, in the governor's budget, he's going to wipe out CalWorks. And so what that means is that all those moms who are now poised to go into the job market or who are already in the job market, they're going to have to kind of walk away from that because they got to take care of their kids. And so those are kinds of failed policies that are sort of wrong direction, wrong priorities that at least the governor is proposing, and those are the kinds of things that we are fighting. I am fighting very, very hard to turn around. So these are going to be very difficult times. If you hear about all the debate, the gridlock and so on, be aware that part of the gridlock is that there are some of us in the Senate, and particularly now also in the Assembly, that are not willing to go there. See, one of the frustrations I have is that every time we get into these kinds of gridlock, then we end up saying to the Republican and the governor, all right, well, we want to close this, we don't want to stall anymore, so tell us what is it you want to cut. We'll go and put up the votes to cut. We cut the budget to education, to higher ed, to poor people, to those who are sick and infirm with Democratic votes. With Democratic votes. Had the Democratic votes not been there, there would not have been a budget to make those particular cuts. I always scratch my head and start asking myself as to why it is that we Democrats end up voting for a Republican budget. You know, that, I went to high school, I went to Mission, graduated from Mission. I thought I was pretty intelligent, but I just cannot figure that out. I just cannot figure that out. And so what I'm going to just continue to ask you guys to do is to continue to write to us, both your assembly members that represent you here, and also your senators that represent you here, and just continue to bang away as what you think we should do. I believe that it is because of your writing, particularly some of the electeds at the local level, saying don't take any more of our money. Don't take our redevelopment money. Don't take our sales tax money. Don't take our transportation money. It is because of that in the Assembly, even though the Senate passed a particular budget that took away local transportation dollar, it was the Assembly that stopped that particular taking. And so it can happen, and it will happen if we all hang in together and stick together and say that we are here for our people, we are here for our children, we are here for those individuals who need a little help in our life. We're not always going to be lucky, but sometimes when luck does not come with us and we need a little help, government should be there to kind of provide that particular help. And so with that, thank you very much for being there. Thank you very much. Thank you.